Proverbs chapter 22, verse 16. Whoever oppresses the poor to increase his own wealth or gives to the rich will only come to poverty.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingin. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit pumakaw, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng wataw at mo'y tagumpay na nagilingig, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidilig. Lupa ng araw ng walhati pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya na pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Sa bayanihan, iumol sa panaghiusa, sa tinuhang may mabiyaan, sa pagkinabangan may kalambuhan.
Davao de Oro, bahandi mo nakasita, kita sa magpupusan. Davao de Oro, tuburan sa kabutiran sa lumaki sa limahan, bunga sa kadagayan.
Di oro yung tansaan, may bulawang may paglubag, yung tanong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmao.
May kalambuan. Davao de Oro, kanino kita aming kamlahanan. Davao de Oro, magunawan sa paraiso, sa nakita sa Davao. Ang kaanya mong mapibihag, kahit asan, kabutiran sa lumaki sa limahan, bunga sa kadagayan. Davao de Oro, kanino kita aming kamlahanan. Davao de Oro, magunawan sa paraiso,
Mga kabataan, pag-asa Karanasan ng bayan, mag-aral ng mabuti pagkat ito'y kailangan.
Kinabukasan ay nasa iyong mga kamay. Tama ng isipan.
Kaalaman ay palaguin dito sa TV Eskwela. Sa pag-aaral sama-sama, hinanin natin ang kakayahan, matututumunawa dito sa TV Eskwela.
Bawat pagsisikap nila ay gintong aral.
Bawat pagkatuto, magtatagumpay tayo.
Patuloy susulong, kayang-kaya natin to.
Yaman ang isipan,
Kaalaman ay palaguin dito sa TV Eskwela. Sa pag-aaral sama-sama, hinanin natin ang kakayahan, matutong umunawa dito sa TV Eskwela. Dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral sama-sama, hinanin natin ang kakayahan, matututumunawa dito sa TV Eskwela. Dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral sama-sama.
Matgandang hapon, Davao de Oro.
Bulawanong hapon, Davao de Oro. Ako si Jomar Gonzaga Batchansila, gikan sa Anibungan National High School, Mako North District.
And I am Michael Eric Eldandan from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School.
And welcome to TV Eskwela sa pag-aaral sama-sama. And
Yes.
once again, kami na pud ang inyong makauban karong hapuna for another fun learning.
Yes, mat exciting, mat saya,
Yes.
at mat gandang mga topic ngayong hapon na to. And Sir Jomar, no, ipaalaala natin sa kanila that we are live, no? Live gihapon ta sa ato ang mga Facebook pages sa TV Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro, DepEd tayo Davao de Oro at Serbisyo Oro mismo.
Yes, tama gid kaya Sir Michael, kay karong hapuna live pud kita karon or makita pud nato ang ato ang broadcast karon sa YouTube, which is the DDO TV Eskwela. Og ayaw kamo kabalaka, if na miss ninyo ang ato ang mga episodes previously, mamahimo kamong mobisita sa ato ang different platforms such as Facebook and YouTube.
Yes, and since this is a TV Eskwela, Sir Jomar, mas live kita karon sa atong TV sa channel 33 sa ato ang
Nabunturan Cable TV Network.
and ato pong pahinumduman no nga ang ato ang mga viewers karon, please po ayaw lang mo pag-comment or kung mag-comment man gani, pero mas importante jud no nga mag-click ta o mag-join ta sa atong attendance sa tinyurl.com/tbbi attendance.
Yes.
Para po ma-count nato ang inyong mga attendance karong hapuna.
Tama ka diha, sir. And of course, karong hapuna naatay duha ka mga teacher presenters nga nagpanikad na gyud sa ilahang lesson. And after sa tuang duha ka lessons karong hapuna, mangandam ta kay ang
Yes.
atuang Region 11, the Department of Education of Region 11 na ay pasundayag pod nga ipakita kanato kauban ang atuang Schools Division Office diri sa Division sa Davao de Oro kana atong atangan taod-taod.
Kay murag excited na kayo ang tanang teachers
Tama.
ana no, kay ato adyo nang ginahangyo ang atong teachers ug atong mga estudyante nga magtan-aw sa ato apong episode after sa atong TV Eskwela. So
Tama,
diri lang
sir.
gyapon ninyo makita sa atong Facebook pages o sa ato ang YouTube
Channel.
na account or channel.
Correct.
So Sir Jomar, no, kagahapon exciting kayo ang mga topic.
Tama,
Math
yes, sir.
8 and Math 9 tapos na ay AP 10. Ug karong
Yes.
hapon na Sir Jomar, murag continuous ta.
Correct. Sa giingon pa ni Sir Michael ganiha, math gandang hapon. So karong adlaw magtuki na pud ta og another math nga subject which is Math 10 and Math 11.
Wow. So unsa atong paabuton Sir Jomar ato
Yes,
siguro
sugdan na nato ni.
So atong ipaila-ila na Sir Jomar, no? So ang una natong topic karon, ang atong subject may tungod sa ato ang Mathematics 10. Na ang ato ang title sa iyang presentation karon mao ang Applying the Distance Formula to Prove Some Geometric Properties. And ang ato ang TV presenter si Ma'am Melanie M. Helsano from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School sa Nabunturan District. So unsa pa atong gipaabot Sir Jomar?
Davao de Oro.
Watch this.
Helping a person might not change the world, but it might change the world for one person. Another exciting and fun learning day, learners. Once again, this is your Mathematics 10 teacher, Melanie Magadan Helsano, of Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, Nabunturan West District. Are you ready, grade 10 learners? Before we start, please prepare your Mathematics 10, Quarter 2, Module 22 with your pen and paper. After watching this episode, you are expected to first, describe the distance between 2 points. Second, derive the distance formula. Third, find the distance between 2 points using the distance formula. And relate distance formula to real-life situations. Let us observe this figure. Use the number line to find the length of each of the following segments. Number 1. What is the measure of segment AB? Correct! Segment AB measures 3 units. Number 2. What is the measure of segment BC? That's right! Segment BC also measures 3 units. Number 3. What is the measure of segment DG? Very good! Segment DG measures 4 units. And what is the measure of segment CE? Awesome! Segment CE measures 6 units. Now, how did you find the length of each segment? Very good! Aside from counting the units from one point to the other, we can also get the absolute value of the difference of the 2 points. Say, for example, in number 3, we get the absolute value of the difference of points D and G. Thus, we have the absolute value of 9 minus 5 is equal to the absolute value of 4 equals to 4. Or the other way, we have the absolute value of 5 minus 9 equals to the absolute value of negative 4 equals to 4. With this, we know that the distance between 2 points is always non-negative. If A and B are 2 points, then the distance from A to B is the same as B to A. Therefore, segment AB is equal to segment BA. Let us consider your home location, H, from the quarantine facility, QF, of your barangay. And visualize your situation in the Cartesian plane. Your location and the quarantine facility can be determined by naming the points in the Cartesian plane. The coordinates of a point is always written as an ordered pair, quantity x, y. The first corresponds to the x coordinate, and the second corresponds to the y coordinate. Then, your home is at point quantity 1, 3, and the quarantine facility is at point quantity 7, 11. The distance between 2 points, whether or not they are aligned horizontally or vertically, can be determined using the distance formula. Now, let us derive the distance formula. Let D be the distance between point P sub 1 and point P sub 2 with the coordinates of quantity x sub 1, y sub 1, and quantity x sub 2, y sub 2, respectively. So, P sub 1 is quantity x sub 1, y sub 1, and P sub 2 is quantity x sub 2, y sub 2. This also shows that the horizontal distance is A equals to x sub 2 minus x sub 1, and the vertical distance is B equals to y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Since it forms a right triangle, we will apply the Pythagorean Theorem. We have D squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Substitute A equals x sub 2 minus x sub 1 and B equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So we have D squared equals A squared plus B squared. D squared equals the quantity of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Then, get the square root of both sides. Therefore, the distance D between 2 points P sub 1, quantity x sub 1, y sub 1, and P sub 2, quantity x sub 2, y sub 2, may be solved using the distance formula as D equals the square root of quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. For example, find the distance from a while ago. If your home is located at point 1, 3, and the quarantine facility is at point 7, 11, using the distance formula, we'll let home as P sub 1 and the quarantine facility as P sub 2. So P sub 1 is equal to the 0.13 and P sub 2 is equal to the 0.711. Hence, X sub 1 is equal to 1, X sub 2 is equal to 7, Y sub 1 is equal to 3, and Y sub 2 is equal to 11. Let us substitute their coordinates. We have D is equal to the square root of quantity X sub 2 minus X sub 1 squared plus quantity Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 squared. So, D is equal to the square root of quantity 7 minus 1 squared plus quantity 11 minus 3 squared. Then, D is equal to the square root of 6 squared plus 8 squared. And D is equal to the square root of 36 plus 64. So we have D is equal to the square root of 100. Then, D is equal to 10 units. Therefore, the distance between your home to the quarantine facility is 10 units. You want more? Okay, get your pen and your paper. Let's exercise. Find the distance between point A, quantity 24, and point B, quantity 915. Let us use the distance formula. So we have D is equal to the square root of quantity X sub 2 minus X sub 1 squared plus quantity Y sub 2 minus Y sub 1 squared. So we have D is equal to the square root of quantity 9 minus 2 squared plus quantity 15 minus 4 squared. Next, we have D is equal to the square root of 7 squared plus 11 squared. Then we have D is equal to the square root of 49 plus 121. And D is equal to the square root of 170. So, D is equal to 13.04 units. Therefore, the distance between points A and B with coordinates 2 and 4, 9 and 15 is equal to 13.04 units. Is this also your solution? Perfect! For further practice, answer Activity 2, page 12 of your module. I will give you time to answer. Are you done? Excellent! And the answer is 5.83 units. So, in real life, distance formula has many applications. Specifically, it is used as a strategy for easy navigation and distance estimation. Also, if you want to estimate the distance of two places on a map, simply get the coordinates of two places and apply the formula. How did you find the lesson? Easy, right? With the use of a formula, everything is easy as 1, 2, 3. Thank you everyone for watching. Once again, this is your Mathematics 10 teacher for TV-based instruction, Melanie Magadan Helsano, from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School, Nabunturan West District. Always remember, dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. Bye-bye!
And we're back dito sa
TV Eskwela sa pag-aaral sama-sama. And that was our first teacher presenter for this afternoon. We have Ma'am Melanie M. Hilsano all the way from Nabunturan National Comprehensive High School with her topic, Applying Distance Formula to Prove Some Geometric Properties.
Hey, so pasalamatan din natin Sir Jomar, no, ang kanyang nag-create ng kanyang presentation na Sir Jonah A. Manatad.
Manatad.
So, congratulations Sir Jonah sa napakagandang presentation at sa
Yes.
pagkaka-edit ng video. So, at ano na lang, shout out na rin natin Sir Jomar, no, ang lahat ng ating mga video editor na andun pati sa sa ating training center kung saan
Yes.
they are continuing editing some of our presentation, and maliban dyan, may mga kasamahan din tayo na sila din ang nag-edit ng mga video sa ating yung ipapalabas natin mamaya,
Yes.
Sir Jomar?
Sa ating Division of Davao de Oro, kasama na din ang ating Region 11 Department of Education mamaya yan. So,
Okay.
antabayanan po nating lahat yan.
Sige. So, ayan Sir Jomar. Familiar ka ba sa topic, Sir Jomar? Distance lang.
Distance siguro,
Oo.
sir. Pero
Common ang
pag
distance.
kasama na yung distance formula in geometry, parang I'm out of place.
So anyway, pag Sir Jomar, no, when we talk about distance, parang nagiging familiar yan lahat sa mga
Correct.
sa mga bata, sa mga estudyante, because siguro parang araw-araw yata ginagamit natin yan kung pupunta tayo sa isang lugar, then we try to ask ano ba yung distansya or gaano. Ngayon, Sir Jomar, ang pinakasikat yung bike. Makikita
Yes.
natin sa ating mga social media, ina-upload nila yung mga distances ng travel nila.
Yes, taod-taod na lang gid, sir, no, makakita pud ta sa kalsada nga naay nagabike, and makabantay pud ko ila pong gina-post kung pila ka kilometro ang ilahang na travel gikan sa ilang gigikanan, halimbawa gikan sa ilang balay. Natay mga applications de karon no nga makuan jud kung pila gitong exact nga distance nga ilahang na travel.
And mauna siya ginatawag nato mga bata nga product sa ato ang mathematics.
Correct.
So kung makita nato dito sa atong mga application, sa ato ang application kung asan makita nato kung pila na ka-travel from starting point to the terminal point, no, kung asa sila ni adto. Ang uban kay mobalik pa baya, Sir Jomar, di ba?
Yes.
So kanang ingana mo na ginatawag nato nga mga coordinates. Kaya lang makita sa application, Sir Jomar, murag real life kay makita man ang mapa dito. So ayan. Pero Sir Jomar, murag na mga daghan kayong pangutana with regard sa ato ang sa atong presentation karon.
Yes.
Na nanggawas ka pangutana. Murag ang unang pangutana, Sir Jomar, what is the distance formula daw in geometry? Ano ba daw yung distance formula
Okay,
in
ug
geometry?
mauni ang tubag sa tuang teacher presenter nga si Ma'am Melanie. Distance formula is an algebraic expression that gives the distances between pairs of points in terms of their coordinates in 2 and 3-dimensional Euclidean space. 3-dimensional or the distance formulas for points in rectangular coordinates are based on the Pythagorean Theorem.
Okay, so murag kuan kayo, deep kayo ang
Lalom kayo, sir.
lalom kayo ang pagka-explain ni Ma'am. So pero mao jud to ang iyahang kuan murag definition, Sir Jomar, no, sa ato ang distance formula. Pero kung ato atong pasimplihon, Sir Jomar, murag the distance formula especially distance between 2 points, no, kay mao man gud na atong ginakuan like atong gi-mention ni Ma'am kaganina dito.
From
Every points na ay mga coordinates.
Yes.
'Di ba? Then kung maghimo ta atong distance between 2 points, natay ginatawag nato nga kanang point 1 to point 2, no? Katang kung point 1 mao na atong ginatawag nga starting point, and then ang point 2 mao na atong ginatawag nga end points nato. And then sa point 1, gi-mention to ni Ma'am Melanie kaganina nga ang bawat point nato na siya mga ginatawag nga coordinates. X, Y. And then, ang point 2 pod, na po na siya XY. So, sa point 1, mo itong na siya x sub 1 ug y sub 1. And then
Correct.
ang point 2, x sub 2 ug y sub 2. So kung atong klaruhon ang gimension nga distance formula, the distance formula is equal to the square root of open quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus closed quantity squared plus open quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Nya murag Sir Jomar murag nalingaw ko ni Sir Jomar kay ang mga bata unsa gani pag mingge sila x sub 2 minus x sub 1 unsa
Equals y sub tan.
daw kunuhay. Unya gitubag pa jud na Sir Jomar. Y sub 2 daw minus y sub 1 equals y na sub tan, which is binuang pero kung atuad yung butangan og importansya Sir Jomar naa jud didto kay imagine no ma-solve nimo ang distance between 2 points using the x sub 1 and x sub 2 and y sub 1 and y sub 2. So again, klaruhon lang nato, the distance formula, yung formula talaga, distance is equal to the square root of quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 closed quantity squared plus open quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1 closed quantity squared. Ayan.
Okay.
So, parang meron pang pangalawang tanong, Sir Jomar.
Okay, sumuni siya ang ikaduha nga pangutana. Sir?
Yes. Murag. Nay nangutana, Sir Jomar, ingon sa dire, how useful is the coordinate geometry? Kay murag nag-istorya tag mga coordinate, Sir Jomar
Yes.
ba? So, how useful daw is the coordinate? And
Okay.
ato aning gisend sa ato ang TV presenter sa ganito yung tubag, Sir
Ang
Jomar.
iyahang tubag is, it provides a connection between algebra and geometry through graphs of lines and curves. The coordinate geometry is an important branch of mathematics. It mainly helps us to locate the points in a plane. It uses R spread in all fields like trigonometry, calculus, and dimensional geometry. Hala karon.
Ang ana ka useful ang coordinate geometry kay kun magud Jomar bali hata maghatag lang ta og murag mga foundation nga kuan about geometry, Sir Jomar, no, daghan magoy klase nga geometry. Ang pinaka ano jud pinaka sikat ang non-Euclidean geometry ug Euclidean geometry.
Mao to nga na-mention ganiha, sir.
So si Euclidean geometry kana siya nga geometry gikan na siya sa foundation ni Euclid. Mo nang si Euclid siya ang ginatawag nato nga the father of geometry, si Euclid. And
Okay, kinsa dato mga bata? The father of geometry is
Euclid.
Okay.
So naputay spherical, naputay ginatawag nato nga coordinate geometry. Okay. So ayan, Sir Jomar, nung murag exciting kayo ang atong mga topic. Murag gusto ba nimo dungagan, Sir Jomar?
wala tay choice, sir, no? Pero actually sa ko ang giingon ganihan naatay duha ka mga presentations karon nga puna, and I believe ang ato ang mga learners silang tagsa-tagsa ka mga panimalay karon naginakutlo bisan pa man laban lang kita always. Okay, so proceed ta sa ato ang ikaduha nga teacher presenter karong hapuna. Ang ihang topic, statistics and probability.
This is for senior high school.
Yes, for senior high school. And we have here probability distribution for a discrete random variable. Our second teacher presenter for this afternoon, we have Ma'am Sheila May L. Dandan, of course, the partner, walang familiar, the partner of my co-host this afternoon. And of course, she's coming from Attorney Orlando S. Rimando National High School with ang ato ang content developer ato apong kauban karon diri walay lain kundi si Sir Michael Eric L. Dandan. Okay, Davao de Oro, let's all watch this.
Hello students! Magandang hapon, my dear learners. I am teacher Shalome Lamosa Dandan of Attorney Orlando S. Rimando National High School, Mako North District. Welcome to another math exciting lesson in mathematics. But before that, let me congratulate you for a job well done on the previous semester with general mathematics. How about giving yourself 3 claps? 1, 2, 3. Now, in the second semester, let us together explore the world of statistics and probability. But don't worry, I am here again to help you. Can you still recall our lesson in Module 1? Very good! It is about random variables. Today, our goal is to illustrate the probability distribution for a discrete random variable and its properties. Calculate probabilities corresponding to a given random variable. And illustrate the mean and variance of a discrete random variable. You may already have encountered this certain topic before, but let's learn more about how this can be used in our daily life. Are you ready? Let's go! You may have seen in the television or internet that someone won the lottery. The chance of winning it is very slim. You may consider it as a luck. The number of tails in a toss coin, winning in gambling, and hitting the jackpot in the lottery can be estimated using probability. We are using probability in real-life applications such as engineering, economics, and many more. Let us find out how exciting probability can be. A probability distribution of a random variable x describes the probability associated with the possible values of x. The probability distribution of a discrete random variable defines the probability of each possible value of the random variable. Its distribution functions are concentrated as a mass for a particular value and also known as probability mass function. Let us be reminded by the following properties of discrete probability distribution. 1. The probability of each value of the random variable must be between or equal to 0 and 1. In symbol, 0 is less than or equal to p of x and less than or equal to 1. Number 2. The sum of all the probabilities of all values of the random variable must be equal to 1. In symbol, we write it as p of x equals 1. Let us have an example to fully understand. When you have a coin and you want to flip it twice, it is possible that you cannot get a tail in 2 tries. Another possibility is that you will get a tail on the first try and a head on the second try, or a head in the first try and a tail on the second try. This probability represents getting 1 tail in flipping a coin twice. Another possibility also is getting 2 tails on your 2 tries. We already have presented all the possibilities of getting a tail by flipping a coin twice. Let us now calculate its probability. Since getting no tail in flipping a coin can only happen in 1 formation, and we have a total of 4 possibilities, so its probability is 1/4. Getting 1 tail can happen in 2 arrangements. Either getting a tail on the first try or getting a tail on the second try. Thus, our probability is 2/4 or 1/2. And lastly, getting 2 tails in flipping a coin twice can happen only once. So, its probability is 1/4. Thus, all the presented probabilities proves the first property that a probability of a random variable must be between or equal to 1. 1/4 and 1/2 is between 0 and 1. When we add all those probabilities, 1/4 plus 2/4 and 1/4 equals 1. It satisfies the second property, which states that the sum of all the probabilities is equal to 1. Probability distribution can be graphically represented by making a type of bar graph, which is called probability histogram. Histogram can be made by presenting the possible definite values of the random variable along the horizontal axis. We draw a vertical bar above each value x of the random variable, having equal height of the probability p of x. Example: write the probability mass function of the random variable x described by the results of rolling a fair die and create its suitable histogram. Since a die is fair, each of the 6 results has a probability of 1/6, or about 0.17. Therefore, the probability mass function is... When we illustrate it in a histogram, it will look like this. The possible definite values is represented by x in the horizontal axis, and the probability is in the y-axis. As shown, there is just an equal probability of all the possible outcomes as we roll a die. Did you learn something? Good job! Keep up the good work. Now, we will proceed to the next part of our topic. We will know deeper about the mean and variance of a discrete random variable. You can do this. Let's go! The mean of a discrete random variable x is described as a weighted average of the possible values that the random variable can obtain. The mean of a random variable weights each result x sub I with respect to its probability p sub I. The other term of the mean is expected value and has a common symbol of mu. The mean can be defined as mu of x equals x sub 1 times p sub 1 plus x sub 2 times p sub 2 plus and so on x sub n times p of n, or mu of x equals summation of the product of the possible values of a random variable and its probability, where mu of x equals the mean, x sub I equals the random variable, and p sub I equals probability. Let's have an example. In Panabo City Basketball League, each player shot 2 free throws. The number of free throws made by each player is shown by the following probability distribution. What is the mean of the probability distribution? Now let's solve this. Mu of x equals summation of x sub I times p sub I equals... Now let's substitute. Mu of x equals 0 times 0.15 plus 1 times 0.6 plus 2 times 0.25. Therefore, the mean of the probability distribution is 1.1. The variance of a discrete random variable x measures the increase or change of the distribution and can be determined by this following equation. The variance is equal to the summation of quantity x sub I minus mu of x squared times p sub I. Also, the square root of the variance is called standard deviation, represented by this equation. Let's have an example. Based on the previous example, what is the variance and standard deviation of the probability distribution? Now let's solve. Variance is equal to the summation of quantity x sub I minus mu of x squared times p sub I. Let's substitute. Quantity 0 minus 1.1 squared times 0.15 plus quantity 1 minus 1.1 squared times 0.6 plus quantity 2 minus 1.1 squared times 0.25. Now, the variance is equal to 0.39. And our standard deviation is 0.62. Therefore, the variance and standard deviation of the probability distribution are 0.39 and 0.62 respectively. Therefore, our variance is 0.39. To get the standard deviation, let us get the square root of 0.39. Thus, our standard deviation is 0.62. Now, let us practice. Determine the mean, variance, and standard deviation of this probability distribution. Wow! That concludes our topic for this module. It is very easy, right? Probability is a very important part of our daily life. It helps us to know about certain things better that can be applied in real-life situations. Statistics and probability can be very easy if you just know the basic principles and practical problems that may enhance your knowledge. Practice makes perfect. Always remember, you can do it. Again, I am teacher Shalome Lamostedandan of Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School, Mako North District. And I hope I made your lesson in mathematics math-dali today. Dahil dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. Bye-bye!
Once again, welcome back to TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. And that was Ma'am Sheila May L. Dandan from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School with her topic, Probability Distribution for a Discrete Random Variable. And of course, ato pong pasalamatan sir ang iyang video editor. Walay lain kundi si
Ma'am Lovely Shaira T. Aginid. Okay, so thank you kayo Ma'am Lovely Shaira no sa maanindot kayo nga creation sa atong presentation karon.
Yes.
And then Sir Jomar, ang topic ni Ma'am Sheila, it's about probability. Unsa bay ma-relate nimo ang mga probability, Sir Jomar?
Usually pag mag-decide tag usa ka butang sir no asag gyud mas maayo. Like for example, kung adto ko dito unsa bay possibility nga mahitabo unsay mas maka kumbaga in terms sa business sir, mas maka-income bakog dako dito kung dili ko inani nga pamaagi or kaning dili ba nga pamaagi mo na akong nakita sir sa probability.
Murag business minded jud kayo ka Sir Jomar ba? Mao dayon daghan jud kayo kag mga racket kayo. Anyway, isa pud ka kuan Sir Jomar no murag ma-relate pud nako sa imo ba ang kanang pag-join nimo mga contest. So unsay probability nga mudaog or mapildi pero sa imo mas taas man jud ang probability nga mudaog Sir Jomar.
Dili pud sir na po yung mga chances nga unsahay mo join kog competition kay kabalo ko mo niyo kung mga makalaban, pero kung kabalo ko nga mao pa yung mga makalaban, ipug ko mo appeal. Pero kung dili ataas og chance, sige, tagaan nato nig effort kay mo taas atong probability nga mo daog.
Wow. So ing ana kakuan ang topic nato mga bata na sa ato ang topic karon nga probability, and murag makita nila Sir Jomar na murag higher na degree or ang level sa ato ang discussion karon tungod kay kani nga topic ana sa ato ang grade 11 na mga senior high school.
Yes. And of course, before ta mo padayon,
speaking of kana Sir Jomar.
Yes. Shout out ta sa ato ang mga viewers karong hapuna, active gihapon kaayo. We have here watching from Nabuntura National Comprehensive High School. We have Ma'am Faith Funasher. Isa po niya sa ito ang mga grabe gyud.
Presenter po na siya.
Po nato ni Power Presenter. Yes. And we also have Ma'am gikan sa AOSR NHS, we have Rana May Coliano, grade 11 Falcon.
Okay, so speaking of grade 11, Sir Jomar, no, sa AOSR, pinapabati din nato daw, according to Teacher Sheila, shout out daw sa tanan niyang mga estudyante sa Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School nga nakita nato nga nagtan-aw gyud sila karon Sir Jomar.
Ubay-ubay pud gyud sila sir. Napod si Jaime G. Podador, grade 11 Sparrow. We have Gwyneth A. Suarez, grade 11 Goldfinch. Claire Rugay, grade 11 Falcon. Mark Sebastian Acusar, grade 10 Faith. Oh, ganihan ni. Joanna Marie Tubulan Balaba, grade 11 Hawk. Gikan gihapon sa AOSR. Wow, grabe gid ni power.
Grabe suporta gikan kay Teacher Sheila.
Yes, kay Ma'am Sheila lang sa kalam. Jessa Joy G. Salya, grade 11 Woodpecker. Mika Ella L. Pon, SSC 10 Einstein. And napagid sir SD Luyacolina Bigalion, grade 10 Charity. Napod si Mervy Lidimore Ador, grade 10 Faith. Crystal Salundagit, grade 11 Hawk. Justin Navarro, Jana Huntilia, Valent Dave G. Plarisan, John Paul Huagpao, Jana Cabrasan at Miraflor Hamin, grade 10 Luna.
Ubay juday ang nag-support kay Teacher Sheila. And then napod ko yung mga nakita diri Sir Jomar, shout out no sa ato ang mga teachers and mga estudyante nato from Nabunturan Comprehensive High School.
Yes.
Napod tay Laak National High School and Compostela National High School. Ang mga mao gyud ni sila yung mga masugid nato nga manananaw.
Yes.
And napod ta from Tagum City, ang Liceo de Davao of Tagum City. Ayan.
Wow. Happy
sila
viewing.
Mga fanatics nato ni karon sila. So, hello po sa ato ang mga viewers dyan. So, Sir Jomar, speaking of probability, naatay mga probable pod na mga pangutana gikan sa ato ang mga estudyante.
Sige, sugdan nato, sir.
Naay isa diri nangutana. What is the difference between the discrete and the continuous random variable? Grade 11 jud sa Sir Jomar.
Ug mauni ang tubag sa tuang teacher presenter. Discrete random variable is a set of possible outcomes that are countable or digital, while continuous random variable is random variables whose values are on a continuous scale, where the data can take infinitely many values such as temperature, weights, and heights.
Yan. So, klarohon lang nato to, Sir Jomar.
Sige daw,
Sir
sir.
Jomar, no? Na ang katong variable na ginatawag natong discrete as giingon ni Teacher Sheila, mao to ang mga variable na countable.
Maihap,
maihap
kumbaga.
nga dili na magbag-o. For example, number of houses, except kung naay mo taod og balik, pero at that time di na siya makuan. Pero ang continuous mo tong gimension ni Teacher Sheila kaganina sa iyang answer nga temperature kay nagabag-o manggod nagasaka.
Yes, paiba-iba kumbaga.
Ang height, 'di ba? Nagataas, wala ba nabay taong ni gamay sa Jomar.
Murag pa mo kinabalitaan na,
so,
sir.
Mo continuous siya. So mo na ang kalahian sa atong ginatawag nga discrete and continuous na variable. And napatay ikaduha nga pangutana, Sir Jomar. Ingon diri, how will you describe po the probability of each value of the random variable? How do we describe the probability of each value of the random variable?
Okay, and the answer of Ma'am Sheila is the probability of each value of the random variable must be between or equal to 0 and 1 or between 0 to 100%. And the sum of all the probabilities of all the values of a random variable must be equal to 1 or 100%.
So, mo manggod na Sir Jomar, no, pag may tag probability, pila ka porsyento nga kanimo gawas. Like for example, mingon ta Sir Jomar kanang natay mga pakulo karon no, kanang murag pabunot-bunot kunuhay nato nga natay 1 up to 100, and then out of 100 ka number, swerte kaayo tong mabunutan kay na makadaog sa og calculator, for example. So unsa ba probability kung mo-enter ka ato? So that is probability nimo is 1 over 100.
Correct. No, taas-taas pod siya nga kuan
sir. 0.01 kay percentage murag 1% lang yun.
Ang chance.
Kay mo nang ginatawag Sir Jomar nga ang iyahang description nato sa probability is from 0 to 1 because mag-start mo sa pag 0 pasabot wala gyud probability nga modaog or kung contest man gani. 'Di ba? Kung 1 pod ang probability ana mudaog gyud ka tanan kay 100% nga mudaog jud ka ana gani tawag. So napoy ginatawag nato nga 50-50. So 50% nga mapildi,
50% nga
mudaog, no, mga nga probability. And then sa ato amang good Sir Jomar, wala nato siya ang percentage manggod gina-change nato into decimal kay para ma-compute nato like katong gi-discuss ni Ma'am Sheila kaganina nga tong mean no sa ato ang probability mo nang i-convert na to siya into decimal. So, that 1% is equal to 0.01. So, mo na mag-start siya from 0% that is 0 and ang 100% that is 1. No? Kaya times lang man na mo og 100, mo na iyang percentage value. So, for example, 0.5 or 0.10. That 0.10 times 100, that is equal to 10%.
10%.
So, ingana ang iyahang description sa ato ang probability. And nanapoy bagong nagawas nga pangutana Sir Jomar. Akong basahon Sir Jomar.
Sige, sir.
Ana siya, why is it important to study probabilities? Agoy.
Okay, nganong importante daw nga ato agin estudyohan ang probabilities. Ug mao ni ang tubag. It is important as it will provide us information about the likelihood that something will happen. With the use of probability, it will help us calculate the chances or the possibility of a random variable to appear. Thus, it will help us come up with sound decision.
Murag ma-apply ba na nimo Sir Jomar?
Yes, sir.
Sa katay mong gimon nga business kaganina. Say for example, unsa bay kasagaran na imong ginaapilan nga business Sir Jomar?
Murag karon sir, I'm not into business now. Murag kung baga since naaman ta sa pandemic no, uso man gud ning mga virtual nga mga competition sir. Mao na ako ang gikabisihan karon. So daghag mga competitions pero akong ginatan-aw gyud sir. Asa kay unsay man gud magsabay-sabay ba? Akong ginatan-aw gyud kung asa tong murag kumbaga taas ang chance nga mudaog ko. Dilita kay murag mingaw di ari, dilita manukad. Kumbaga kung dito po tong saba kaayo nga kanang daghan kay mga tang-an kumbaga adi ta dito. Muna nga mo pili gyud ka kay tan-aw nimo kung asay pinakataas og chance nga kumbaga at the end ang bottom line mo gid ana is maka-income ka, makakwarta ka.
Gamit gyud dedi mo ang probability. Pero so far Sir Jomar, murag I heard katong last nga nadunggan ta ka is ni daog ka sa unsa kitong nga contest Sir Jomar?
It's a singing competition sa usa ka radio station dito sa Davao City.
Wow.
Nga murag natagaan pod og chance nga gi-represent nako actually ang Davao de Oro at the same time tapos nakachamba, naka second place ta dito.
Yung mga pila kadaghan ang participants
ang participants ato is actually 5 ka buok. Bali,
sa final.
Sa finals na pero during sa elimination naabot gyud og 16 ka mga kuan. Bali 4 per week. Naglaban-laban 4 per week. So na 4 weeks in a month. Mao to nga 4 times 4 that is 16, and then kada week gikuha nilang mga champion, kinagniagi man tag champion ato nga week, so gikuha nilang upat ka buok, mao to nga naglaban-laban na dayon sa finals.
Wow, so congratulations Sir
Thank you,
Jomar.
sir.
So ingana no, ginagamit yun nato mga bata no ang probability. So it can be applicable sa tanan butang, even sa mga choices nato kung
Yes.
unsa ba na ba kay chances ani or wala ba kay chances ani.
Yes.
So before siguro mo nang tama jud tong giingon ni Teacher Shella nga it really help to our to make decision in life.
Like for example, po sir na to ang mga estudyante karon, most especially itong mga senior high school students nga incoming college students someday. So, they will also decide, maabot gid sa point nga mo decide pod sila kung unsa nga course ang ilahang i-take. Say for
Yes.
example, mo na sila in demand ba ni nga course or kani ba mas need ba ni karon sa atuang society. So, depende gid gihapon na sila tan-aw nila kung asa pod sila kampante or ma-feel pod nila nga maggamit gyud dili kay pag mag-graduate, nagtambay lang.
Gani no murag ang pangutana Sir Jomar ba? What is the probability nga makatrabaho ko
Correct.
after I graduate,
Mm-mm.
no? Or sa mga ingana. So naajud ang application of the probability in real life scenario, on real life situation. So ayan, Sir Jomar, murag
Yes.
grabe ang ato ang learning karong hapuna sa ato ang
Yes.
duha ka subject no na mahimo natong murag guide sa ato ang pagtuon sa ato ang kinabuhi. So indeed, mathematics is really helpful and important no sa ato yung kinabuhi. So mga bata mo nang dili gyud ta mabalaka, di gyud ta mahadlok kay kung ikaw magtuon lang, kung ikaw maningkamot lang kanang math mahibal-an ra jud na siya. Kay gani makita nato ang atong mga presentation kaganina na ma-apply jud nato siya in real life. Sama sa giingon ni Sir Jomar.
Yes, tama ka diya, sir. No, ug once again, we are inviting everyone to witness the Region 11 Department of Education in partnership with the Division of Davao de Oro. Right after this one, atangan gyud natong tanan kay I believe ang ato ang mga teachers, ato ang mga students nagpanikad na gyud sa ipasundayag nga presentasyon sa ato ang division sa Davao de Oro. Kauban ang Department of Education Region 11. Bulawanon kay ina nga presentasyon, sir.
Morning atong ginatawag nga DepEd 11.
DepEd 11.
Hosted by Davao de
De Oro.
Oro. With our motherly nga ato ang SDS.
We have
Si
Ma'am Euphemia T. Gamutin. Hi,
And
Ma'am.
kauban sa iya sa ato ang amahanon pod nga nagdala sa ato ang dibisyon, si Sir Dr. Romel Handayan.
Handayan.
Ayan. So abangan nyo po, teachers, mga estudyante. So diyan po ipapakita ko ano po yung best ng ating division
Yes.
dito sa Division of Davao de Oro. So susunod po yan after our TV Eskwela. So ito Sir Jomar, parang ito na yung time na magpapasalamat tayo. So
Correct.
unang-una sa lahat, nagpapasalamat kami sa lahat ng aming mga kasamahan dito sa TV Eskwela na pinapangunahan ng ating mga video editors. So lahat po ng ating mga video editors, maraming salamat po sa suporta. Kasama na rin ang ating production team, no? Kung saan
Yes.
sila yung nag-guide sa ating mga presenters, no? Isa ka doon, Sir Jomar. Isa kang director doon. And sa ating mga social media team, and ano pa ba? Ang ating mga audio
Yes.
man doon sa ating
Mga sound engineers,
kumbaga.
Okay, and of course, we'd like to say thank you as well sa ato ang production manager. We have Dr. Dexter A. Sikinya, ang ato ang education program supervisor sa MAPE, diri sa ato ang division sa Davao de Oro. And of course, pasalamatan po nato ato ang mga division personnels, no, nga walay puas nga pagsuporta para mahimo yung successful ang kada presentation diari sa ato ang isa sa ato ang mga instructions diri sa division sa Davao de Oro, which is ang TVBI. And personally, sir, ako pong pasalamatan ang atuang Public Schools District Supervisor. We have
Yes.
Sir Noel B. Canales.
Hello po, sir.
ang amuang principal sa Anibungan National High School, we have Ma'am Edna G. Umbecan. Ang mga assistant school principal and at the same time, school principal sa Senior High School Department, we have Ma'am Maria Teresa Tondo. Kung ang mga kaubanan sa Senior High School Department, Sir Eman, Ma'am Jive, Sir Richard, Sir Ronnie, Ma'am Cherry, di na nako isa-isahon ang Junior High School Department kay mulag daghan ubay-ubay gyud sila. Daghan king salamat sa ako ang pamilya nga always pod naga-support daw dili man kayo maka-view pero akong ginapakita sa ilaha every time ay presentation ang TV Eskwela. Daghan kayong salamat sa inyong tanan.
And ako po, Teacher Jomar, magpasalamat po ko sa tanan natong mga nagsuporta from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School na pinapangunahan po ng ating mahal na principal, ang ating OIC principal, si Ma'am Josie de la Cuesta, and lahat po ng mga kasamahan natin dun sa Senior High School Department and saka Junior High School Department, lalong-lalo na po sa ating Mancom Department, ang ating mga head teachers, ang ating mga master teachers, and mga deputy head and department head po ng Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. At salamat na rin sa lahat po ng nanonood from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. And hello din po sa aking mga kapamilya dyan, so sa Mako at saka sa Mabini.
And of course, ato apong pasalamatan ang Provincial Government Unit diri sa Davao de Oro. And of course, ato apong pasalamatan ang walay
ato ang mga technical.
Yes, nga always good. Murag gikapoy na ni sila sa ato pero laban lang kita always ang ato ang mga personals diri sa SOM, Servisyo
Oro. Kayo kay full force sila karon na
yes,
si Sir Joy,
good.
Si Sir Ron, then Sir Bry, and si Sir Janjan.
And
ang ating director ngayong hapon na to, kasama natin na
ang ato ang master teacher. Yes. We have Sir Arnel Castillo.
So hello po Sir Arnel Castillo. Salamat po sa suporta. And parang meron pa ba Sir Jomar?
Mauna to sir.
Mauna to. So maraming salamat po. And this is your host, I am Michael Eric Eldandan from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School.
And this has been Jomar Gonzaga Batchansila from Anibungan National High School, Mako North District.
Na nagsasabing,
dito sa TV Eskwela, sa pag-aaral, sama-sama. Bye-bye!
Susunod na po ang ating DepEd 11, hosted by Davao de Oro Division.
Davao de Oro TV Eskwela would like to thank the following stakeholders. Provincial Government of Davao de Oro, headed by Governor J.V. Tyron L. Uy, Vice Governor Maria Carmen S. Zamora, First District Representative Manuel E. Zamora, Second District Representative Ruel Peter S. Gonzaga, Servicio Oro Mismo, SOM Program Director Fem Maestre, SOM Executive Producer Alfonso June Tabas, SOM Technical Director Charleston L. Arcales, SOM Program Coordinator Ray M. Antibo, Lead Cameraman Brian B. Jimenez, and the Bunturan Cable TV Network, Mr. Jinal B. Uli.
Davao de Oro TV Eskwela would like to thank the Division of Davao de Oro headed by Schools Division Superintendent Eufemia Tigamutin, CESO 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Romel R. Handayan, CID Chief Karina S. Frasco, SGOD Chief Dr. Ruben J. Reponte, Education Program Supervisors Dr. Hilda A. Upenya, Dr. Elde Cris Calzadora, Cecilia C. Morales, Vergelito S. Pobresis, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinha, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Nohara O. Pinote, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, and Juanito M. Lapiceros.